Hello everyone, as you know I'm Peter Waygang, and this is yet another one of our videos to bring the truth to you about the city of Kawartha Lakes. I'm holding in my hand here the utility invoice from the city, and I've gone back as far as 2015 to collect my data. I am sure that even you have noticed how rapidly the cost of the water and sewer services have increased over the years. And in this video I'm going to examine that in some detail. Alright, so here we are, concerned about the water and sewer increases over the recent years. And is it just money down the drain, or is it money into some executive's pocket? The system works like this, that they perceive that they have fixed costs in the water and sewer business, the salaries, the wages, the benefits, the insurance, and so on and so forth. Now, in the document you read that the base charge, that's the base charge in the sort of the pink colour, is to secure a portion of the revenue stream that does not vary with the volume of the consumption. So when we use more or less water, it doesn't make any difference. That sum of money in the pink will always be there to pay those important things, and they like to have their salaries insured like that. Now on the right hand side, the blue one, this is actually what is cost per cubic meter, the water purification process, sewage treatment, and distributing it and collecting the sewage. So that is how it is set up. In comparison to other municipalities relatively near us, we see we're in extremely bad shape. This was for 2018, Guelph at 212, Durham at 305, which is just off to our west, and we are at 681, more than twice the cost of Durham. Something is wrong. So what did people do in the city of Kawartha Lakes, and actually right across the province? We began to cut back on our water usage. None of those long, glorious showers of plenty of water. Now we go in there with just enough to do the job and not much more. That is how we as consumers try to save money. Does it work? Well, what you would expect to happen is that as we, the customer, use less, that the amount used on the right hand, the blue at the bottom there, decreases that, as I have shown. And the pink stuff at the top should be enough to still cover all those expenses, the salaries and so on. So if we actually decrease, there should be that white area in the middle, which is kind of just nothing. But they already warn us, the city, that the fixed rate percentage may have to increase if future consumption continues to decrease. And that raises a big flag. What are they telling us? They're actually telling us, as the blue decreases, something may have to change to the pink. How can that be if the pink is already there to cover all those fixed charges? In there is infrastructure levy, and nobody has really been able to tell anybody what infrastructure levy actually means, but it's plenty of levies in the city, as you know. But what in fact happened when we put it under the microscope, you can see. Yes, the good citizens used less water, the infrastructure levy stayed about the same, but the fixed charges are obviously not fixed at all, because they've almost doubled. They've gone from $480 a year in 2016 up to this coming year of $720 for the fixed charges, which are to pay the salaries and all those other things in the pink area. Right. So our conclusion must be that some of the fixed costs that they say are fixed are not fixed at all. And of course we know what they are. They are the salaries and the benefits of the staff. And in order to make things work out, obviously some of our consumption charges are not for consumption at all. They are actually loaded back into the fixed costs, which is very, very devious, but clever. So what is it that's being moved? Well, you can see that the wastewater and administrative costs shot up from 2 million, just over, to almost 3 million in 1 year. 37% increase. So this really is the portion of our taxes for what we consume that is being passed back into those so-called fixed charges, which are not fixed charges because the administrative costs alone have gone up by 37%, and that to me is not very much fixed. Now, back in April 2016, the people in Port 32 asked me to go and make a petition to council, and I did, and we argued that the water bills are 4 times higher than they were before amalgamation, and after no discussion whatsoever, I was told by the mayor that this will be referred to staff. Everything is referred to staff. Now, so when it gets to staff, staff makes a decision which helps them, not us. And so it comes back to this whole idea of front-loaded charges. They are ethically wrong. You should only be charged for what you get. We pay for our water, but we don't necessarily get it because some of it is taken, even if we do not use a single drop. Now look at these. This is what we're used to in the real world. Motor oil, milk, beer, gasoline, propane, and of course water. It is sold to us by a cost per unit volume, and that is how it should be for our water services from the city. Can it be done? Yes, it is done. Markham does that. They take all those various so-called fixed charges, which are not fixed charges, and everything else, and they put it into one bundle, and they say, for every cubic meter of water, you're going to pay $4.14. And on average, we use about 200 cubic meters a year, so that is a bill, an annual bill of $828. Now, when you come to the city, the cost, well, the first thing is $681. That's a 2018 figure. Then you got 200 times the cost of the water per cubic meter and the cost of the sewer per cubic meter. So we get up with 1,500. It's almost twice as much. And Markham can take the ethical stand that they're charging us per unit volume. And the city of Kawartha Lakes is not. They're saying, we are making you pay for our salaries first to make sure we get that. So, we need more money. That's always a cry from bureaucracy. They always need more money. So the city staff have this problem. How shall we get more? Shall we increase the consumption charge or the fixed charge? Now, I leave that question with you for a minute to ponder. Because if they use the consumption charge and add on another 50 cents per cubic meter or something like that, then the people will say, well, if we use less water, then we are going to save money. And that will really create a problem of where do we transfer our consumption money back into their salaries. Now, if we use a fixed charge, then the population can't do anything about it at all. They have to pay it if they want any water whatsoever. So what do you think they do? Well, city staff are proposing to freeze the consumption rates. Well, what a surprise. They would up the monthly fixed charge by that much. When you think of these matters from the staff viewpoint, you can tell exactly what they're going to do. So here's the breaking news. This was in December the 15th this year, just a few days ago. The water and sewer fixed rate is to increase to $720 a year. And that is in addition to the property tax increase of 4%, which is almost twice as much as in Peterborough. Now, our mayor, Andy Letham, he has asked the staff to see what can be done. I made that highlighted because that's all he has the power to do. The public must understand that by a number of really sophisticated bylaws, power has been passed to the CAO. So all Andy can do is say, please staff, would you consider doing something to this? And if they say no, that's just too bad for us. And he says that this is an issue he heard often on the campaign trail this past fall. And he certainly did, because I was on the platform with him. So let's look ahead then. So let us see if they do. Let us see if they do something about the water charges without the normal solution, which is putting more debt on our grandchildren. But I would advise you, please don't hold your breath.